Hey guys, EagleX here, and today I was going to do a deck profile of my deck I piloted through top 16 and top 32 in the TAC and Core regionals respectively. So go ahead, and if you enjoy this content, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate the support from everyone. So to start things out, I did play Security Control, and to start off, we do have the 5 babies. I run 4 Kupimon and 1 Upamon. In case you don't know, Kupimon is if I have 5 more security when attacking, I trigger draw 1. Upa is if I have 3 or less, I draw 1 when attacking. The reason I run the 5 babies is because I run multiple rookies that I like to chip with. I always found myself in a situation where having 5 or more security was more relevant and always a card draw. So it's an amazing early game rookie to or early Digimon to open. And Upa was that good late game or mid game egg I would hatch and get draws with. It's just as situational as some of the other triggers in your deck, like the Megidramon and Salamons. So speaking of which, let's hop over to the rookies I ran. So we have 4 Salamon and 2 Bushai Agumon. Just the fact they're rookies is a big deal in this deck. The Salamons are your staple if on deletion if you have 3 or fewer security. Trigger recover 1, so if it's mid to late game, you can get some heals with them. I always found myself wanting to Digivolve every chance I could with them. Digivolve and then promote, swing, it's another draw. That's my playstyle. I don't like playing to time. I think it's stupid. So that's one thing I emphasize when I play my games. I like to swing for the security. Options are a great way to be defensive, but it's not the full focus of my deck to play the time every game. And then 2 Bushai Agumon. It has just its main text of rush, so I can play this down, swing security, and take game. I found multiple times where I wish I had more of these in my deck, so if I had to make changes, I would actually be adding another Bushai or 2 to my deck to have 8 rookies be consistent for that turn 1 Digivolve and turn 2 swing draw. But the rookies put in their work. They gave me extra chip damage early game, extra draw. Now moving on, I did run 2 Lucy's. Lucimon was probably the biggest underperforming card of this deck. I did find myself in a situation where I'm playing against Musketeers, and playing this for 5 was a great way to leave them with not a lot of memory to work with, give me a heal and board presence, and I can start chipping with 10,000 DP. But it was a very underperforming card, something if I were to make changes, these would probably be Bushis, or I would keep 1 and have 1 extra Bushi. But it is a good on-play recover. It costs 5 if you have 10 or more in trash, so it's like that mid to late game card you'll start slamming for cheap value. But it's not something I found myself using as much as I would have. The play cost was nice if you did play against a mirror match for some options, or against Ginkaku or Black Royal Knights. He does kind of dodge lowest DP threshold, so it gives you some variance. It's also a great rookie target for Megidramon, which I'll get here in a moment. But it still did okay. Next, moving on, we have my level 5s. I have my 4 Megidramon and 2 Mistymon. And Megidramon, nothing special to say about him. I mean, he's your staple. On play, recover 1, cost 7. So if I'm going first, ideally I want that hatch, I want that rookie, and I want to slam one of these or play a memory boost, because it's harder for your opponent to punish a turn 1 level 5. So if you play against Gabubon, they're not going to be able to go into that bond of friendship to bot deck this. Same with Agumon, they can't delete this as easily on turn 1 without passing with a Gaia Force. And 6,000 DP actually does a lot in this format. Against all these bond decks, they have a low DP threshold on average. So every chance I had, I'd play this and I would swing security almost and go into a level 6. But this actually does a lot against security checks in this format. I know it seems kind of crazy, but I would always swing with this. And then one card that overperformed and exceeded my expectations was Mistymon. He has something I kind of threw in last minute because I felt like I wanted more level 5s to Digivolve from. And I found this super useful. Like, if I'm going first and I slam a memory boost, or I slam Megidramon, or even a Tamer, and I play against Gabumon, what they would do is they would go in the rookie in the back, slam 2 rookies like a Strabi and a Gabu, leaving me at 2, and then it would just give me a chance to swing with the Magnet if I had that, and then slam a Mistymon to remove their board, delete some of their progress. Or if I'm going against Jesmon, this is a great way to snipe those Blancs. If you have a lot of opening memory, snipe the Blancs, swing security for game. Like I said, I like to be a bit more aggressive, and 7,000 DP threshold is a really good one to have in this format. So I would definitely consider adding more Mistymons to my deck in the future. Anyways, those are the yellow level 5s. Now to move on to the level 6s. First, we have Megidramon and Sakuyamon. Megidramon shouldn't be a surprise here. It's the level 6 on play. If you have 3 or fewer security, recover 2. This is what reloads your security. It gives you another breath of life, per se. And it also has the when attacking effect to cheat out a rookie. So this was my favorite way to utilize Bushis and utilize Lucies. But I just found the Bushis to be so much more impactful, especially if you go against Jesmon. I went against 4 Jesmons in the core TCG regional. And the way I won the game was by swinging security more aggressively than they could if they couldn't get their perfect stack. And going into Megidramon over a level 5 and then swinging just gave me so much advantage in board, and it really pressured them early game. And then Sakuyamon is my answer to those OTK decks, to those from raising multiple swings from Gabumon, from Agumon being able to get multiple checks. They still get the deletion when they attack, so they will trigger the trash. But this denies a lot of OTKs. It stops Jesmon from getting a 1-turn kill after they have a perfect stack and raising with 1 tie. It's -3 security when they promote. And then the second part of during my turn, all the security Digimon my opponent has -3,000 DP actually made a difference. It let my rookies, it let my level 5s live more frequently. I remember I played against Black Royal Knights, and this card made a big difference when I swing security. I found Craniumon, and this was able to live due to its effect. So Sakuyamon's super good in this format, especially with all those decks that promote from raising and get multiple swings in. Moving on to the next card is the part where I feel like I was a bit more spicy with my deck list. So I have this little black core. I have Megidramon. It's a level 5 that also counts as red on my turn. 7,000 DP, great DP threshold. And to pair with him, I have 2 Craniumons. And I will say, Craniumon was MVP for me in this deck in a lot of matchups. It was a great answer against security control players and 3 Musketeer players. It was really good against the Bond decks also because it denied multiple swings, as it would crash if it was over a Megidramon, or it would just stall me out with a large body in general. And then my one spicy tech in this deck is a Megidramon. It was a one of, and it carried hard in both TAC and core regionals. In case you don't know what this is, because Digimon counts as red, I can go from Digimon into Megidramon. So ideally, reason I would do this is when Digivolving, we both trash the top 5 cards of our deck. In other words, we're milling. So when you're going against the Musketeers, which was the matchup I feared the most, you have an answer for them aggressively trashing cards in their deck. And I would always ask them cards in their deck, and if they said 5 or less, I would crack a memory boost, go into 6, assuming I have the Izzy out, slam Megidramon, go into Megidramon, and mill them for 5, and then pass turn for game. This also worked amazing in the security control mirror match, where I saw I had my combo pieces in hand, I had that memory boost on field, and I was just waiting for us to get to late game. As I'm swinging, they're healing, they're making their deck go through a lot faster. This card just saved me in one set of security control and one set against Musketeers. And then Craniumon himself is just such a force to be reckoned with. Not being able to be deleted by effects is so big. The only thing that can really take care of him is if you do Digivolve from a Megidramon to a Craniumon, you can be flared down, or if you're playing against a yellow deck, they can DP reduce you, so Wyvern's Breath does answer him. I played a game against Musketeers, and they just could not deal with this on turn 2. They gave me 3, and I slammed this down. and this just kept swinging and chipping for damage as they didn't have cheaper free All-Stars yet. And also, on top of that, going into the next card, we have 4 copies of Zwart Defeat. And something amazing about all these cards is they are either purple or black, which is a Zwart Defeat target if you find one in hand. I found a few times where I can delete Tamers, especially against the Bond players, and deny their warps. Or against security control, I can color lock them out of their black Tamers so they couldn't use black options. But the main effect this was used for is stacking and security. If I ever had a chance, I would heal it into security. And so from like a memory boost from stacking Izzy, I would try to guarantee this is in there. Because when they check it, it gets played for free, and then you have a level 7 you can start chipping and swinging with for the rest of the game until they remove it. And if they do, on deletion, it will delete a Digimon. So it's just a really good card to keep board and to deal damage with. And now moving on to the options. This part's probably a bit more staple for what a lot of other lists will have. But starting with the yellow package, we have 4 reinforcing memory boosts. This is just such a good and crazy card that came out in this set. When you play it, you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 to hand, the other is security, so it's a +1 in hand, +1 security, and then the delay effect to cash in 3 memory later. This helped enable some high memory plays on my turn, to choke my opponent a bit more after I had a big play. Gave me a chance to go into, like I said, the Megidramon combo a lot, and it was just a great way to open the game up to hold on to that 3 memory for a later turn play after your opponent can't really punish you for going heavy in the early game with memory. On turn 1 at least, going first. Then you have the yellow Gaia Force Wyvern's Breath, minus 15,000 DP. The only thing that lives in format against this is a Jesmon that has a bunch of DP buffs, or if you run into other Royal Knight decks that have DP buffing mechanics, with CL is typically it. But this will remove almost anything, so there's not reason to not run 4 copies of this card in the deck now for security control. And then 1 copy of Holy Wave. This card definitely is a worse version of Reinforcing Memory Boost besides its security effect, which saved me in 1 game. There is a matchup where I was against Gabubon, is the last card of my security. They had 2 checks ready to lethal me. They checked this, I recovered, and then I was able to extend my play and still be in the game. That's your typical yellow stuff though. And now to wrap things up is my small black core of options and Tamers. Start out with Tamers. Run 1 copy of Izzy. He will set me to 3, so my opponents can play around my other Tamers for denying memory, but getting set to 3 just gives me more memory to give my opponent less memory in the later game. Also the stacking effect to reveal top 3 and to force a heal that is beneficial to me. It's a really nice effect. And then 3 Izzy Joe. This gives me, if you have 2 or your opponent has 2 or more Digimon start of your turn, you gain 2 memory, so it punishes wide boards. If they go wide, it allows me to do some heavier memory plays. And also, because I have the small black package of Digimon and Craniamon, I can suspend these during my opponent's turn if they delete them to draw a card for when I suspend. So it's just a nice little added bonus of having these Tamers. And on top of that, their main use of allowing me to use my black options. Got 4 Iron Fist Onslaught. This deletes everything with the highest play costs. This is a very useful way to clear a board of everything if your opponent doesn't play around it. There is a matchup I had where I was able to delete 2 Sakuyamon against a security control mirror. I was able to pop 2 Jesmons in another match, and then in 1 security control match I popped 2 Zwart Defeats. In Gabubon matchups, it pops the bond if they check in security. If they have a board of rookies, it's a way to pop the entire board of rookies. So it's just a very useful card that can cover multiple things. And then the last card, very similar to that, is Ultimate Flare. This is a way to answer Craniamon if it wasn't hard slammed. It can de-digivolve a target by 3 and then deletes things with a play cost of 3 or less. So when you play against those bond decks, you de-digivolve the bond and then pop all the rookies with it that have a play cost of 3 or less. It's not based on TP. If I were to go through again, these are the options I would definitely consider putting down to 3 of because they are very easy to play around. Ultimate Flare can be played around from slamming level 4s that don't have a play cost 3 or less. Iron Fist Onslaught, they swing at their big guy first, and then the big guy shields all their little guys that are swinging after it. But with that being said, my matchups for the 2 regionals, I found myself in the TAC regional. I went against a Diaboromon, a Jesmon, Gabubon, Security Controls, Black Royal Knights, Tyler from Gaia Force Gaming with Grand Quagmon OTK. And in all those matchups, the cards that really carried me hard were Ultimate Flares for the Jesmon and Gabubon matchups. Iron Fist Onslaught helps carry in the Security Control mirrors along with the Diaboromon matchup because the tokens have a high play cost, they're all the same, so this pops all of them. Unlike in previous formats, you're kind of stuck to using either Mistymons or the Light Purge Shines. Not an amazing card, but it's useful if you know Diaboromon's relevant in your local scene. And then when I had the matchup against Security Control in the TAC Regional, I was able to win by mill out with the Megidramon combo. And Craniumon also carried really heavy in that game with his effect to be immune from deletion effects besides DP reduction. So he was able to do a whole lot there. So that's what got me top 16 TAC. And then in core, I had the onslaught of rough matchups. I had 4 Jesmons and 2 Musketeer matchups. Those are definitely the more difficult ones. I beat the 2 Jesmons 2-1 and 2-0 because I was able to aggressively swing security with all my rookies. They were able to put in their chip damage, and I was able to keep pressuring them on board, and they couldn't respond fast enough. The 3 Musketeers, I won from mill out and from being aggressive in one of the other sets. Craniumon also carried in the Musketeer matchup. They're stuck. They couldn't remove him. He was stuck on board. They couldn't find their melee to answer him. So he really helps chip damage every turn. And then the Gabubon matchups, and Mistymon helped. Ultimate Flare helped. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this content. If you want to see more, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I can do to make these videos better. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching.